So Ivanka Trump, I think she had the best speech of the entire Republican National Convention. Kayleigh McEnany did pretty well, but it was not policy related at all. It was basically just an empathy grab. Ivanka's speech was littered with populist leftist messages that were lies about what Trump has accomplished, but really they were attempts to appeal to the amorphous apolitical center that the media always ignores and pretends, oh no, there's the left and then there's the right, and then the center is in between them politically. So you have to be as centrist and corporatist as possible, when really progressive ideas appeal to that apolitical center a lot. So she talked about childcare and how she claims Trump has expanded access to that. Fair trade deals. She talked about Trump's overhaul of NAFTA, even though really it was just tweaking it. Criminal justice reforms, some of the First Step Act things that Trump did. Ending the wars, which is what I've heard over and over again in this Republican National Convention. They're trying to go more paleo-conservative, stealing from Tucker Carlson, even though they have the biggest war hawk ever, Tom Cotton, speak tonight. So it's all fake. And Trump has, by the way, removed Obama's rule requiring the reporting of drone strikes. He vetoed a bill that ended our involvement in Yemen. It's complete falsity. But she still claimed that Trump had helped end the wars. And then she said that Trump was the enemy of big pharma. So all of these are leftist ideas that are antithetical to what Mitch McConnell and the Republicans want and what Trump has actually done. But she knows, and clearly the Trump campaign knows, that saying populist leftist things like he did in 2016, where he said he was gonna give everyone health care, everyone's gonna go to college, free childcare, whatever. It didn't matter, he was lying, but he said them, they worked. So they're doing it again. And because we have a center-right candidate in Joe Biden, and because the Democratic Party has decided to kick the left in the teeth and put people like John Kasich and Colin Powell at the DNC, we've ceded the ground of leftist principles to the right, and they're able to capitalize on them because instead the Democratic National Committee or Convention is talking about empathy and nothing else.
Yeah, so look, don't get us wrong. There was plenty of lies in there. So we're bringing jobs and life-saving medicines back to the country. No, we actually shipped off a bunch of life-saving masks right before coronavirus hit us, even though we knew coronavirus existed and was coming. And so it was an absolute disaster. The reason we have record deaths and record cases is because we reacted the worst to coronavirus. We were the most incompetent, and we did not protect people's lives. That's why in this convention and in her speech, basically the message was, our reaction to COVID-19, not so bad, not so bad. I mean, even these record-breaking liars in the Trump administration, even they are having trouble having the temerity to say they reacted well to coronavirus. Their best defense is not so bad, not as bad as you think. I know that there's hundreds of thousands dead, but maybe it could have been worse. I mean, there's no other country that's handled it any worse than we did, but maybe it could have been worse. So that's the best case that they have. And then at one point in the beginning of the speech, she said, after talking about coronavirus, the results speak for themselves. And it was supposed to be a moment where they clapped, and it was like crickets. And she almost had like a Jeb Bush moment there. There was a little panic in her eye, like, please clap. And every time she lied, you guys couldn't see it because we weren't doing play-by-play on Ivanka's speech. But I could see Emma's reaction, and Emma every time would be like wincing.
That was before I got too tired to react when Trump just lulled me to sleep, and I just wanted it to end. But Ivanka's, I was still alive for that one.
Yeah. So okay, now yes, all those lies notwithstanding, I totally agree with Emma. So she stole so many progressive policies there, prescription drugs, and the media said, it's so Reeve Ghosh of progressives to talk about the '94 crime bill. Okay, you can't do that. That hurts unity in the Democratic Party. What did you think? The Republicans weren't going to hit him? Oh, they're like, oh, we forgot about the 94 crime bill. Oh, because they didn't mention it during the primaries. No, they're hitting him on almost every speech. Can you believe how many black people Joe Biden locked up? Now, if we'd hashed that out in the primaries, even if Joe Biden still won, at least it would seem like old news, right? But now, for the first time, Americans are hearing about the 94 crime bill because cable news did its best job to bury progressive critique of Joe Biden. So, and this whole insane idea that no, the Republicans will never figure it out. They won't ever criticize Biden if you don't do it in the primaries. They won't ever criticize corporate Democrats if progressives don't do it in the primaries. I mean, come on, nobody's that stupid. They're lying to you on purpose over and over and over again. How many times are you going to fall for it?
So and Cenk, they were so concerned. Sorry, just to add to that, they were so concerned about how Bernie would be attacked by the Republicans. That was the only person they pretended to care about who, in terms of attacks in the general election. Everyone else, it's just hide everything, hide everything, hide everything. But Bernie, no, he would be the one that Republicans would attack. They'll just play kumbaya with Joe Biden.
Yeah, and they said, oh, look, if we do criminal justice reform under Obama, the Republicans will attack us for it. Now they're attacking you because you didn't do it. Oh, if we lower prescription drug prices, then the pharmaceutical companies will attack us and that'll hurt us. Now they're attacking you because you didn't do it. Oh, if we pardon people like Alice Johnson, then people will attack us for it. Now they're bragging about pardoning Alice Johnson and hitting you for not doing it. They're hitting you for all the progressive policies we told you to do because you didn't do them. So number one, never ever trust a cable news pundit. They're always wrong, always wrong. And they said it again this time. Oh, don't do anything progressive because then the Republicans will hit you. They did the exact opposite. They hit you for not doing progressive actions. Okay, and finally, there was this bizarro thing that happens. And if you're not a right-wing evangelical, you probably have no idea why it happens. I just want to explain it real quick. Near the end of Ivanka's speech, and it happened again in Donald Trump's speech, she mentioned how they moved the embassy of Israel's, our embassy in Israel, and the crowd goes nuts. Like before, they're talking about coronavirus. In Trump's speech, at least he's throwing red meat. Oh, the Democrats are gonna rip the suburbs to shreds. Like, yeah, right. And we're gonna protect the cops' ability to abuse people. Yeah, right. But Ivanka didn't do any of that. So she's like, oh, family leave or something, and they're like, okay, whatevs, right? And then she gets to, and we moved Israel, our embassy in Israel. They're like, ah! So if you're wondering why they're going nuts over that, it's because right-wing evangelicals think that things like that are going to expedite Armageddon, and then their beloved Jesus comes back after 7 billion people are dead, and so.
Including the Jews that they say they're in favor of, and then call Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib anti-Semitic for wanting to end apartheid.
Of course. So I mean, that place is not. First of all, Jewish Americans vote Democrat more than every ethnic group other than Black Americans. Okay, 7 out of 10 times they vote a Democrat, including against Trump. Okay, so they're not doing it for Jewish votes, and that crowd was not packed with people who just got out of temple, okay? No, that's an evangelical crowd going, yes, more war. Meanwhile, ironically, they're bragging about how they didn't start more wars. As long as Jesus comes back and 7 billion people are dead, everything's gonna be cool. So that's the one thing that got the crowd super jazzed at Ivanka's speech. And then she made that ridiculous statement about, UAE, this is the first peace, the Middle East peace deal. Israel and UAE were already allies. It's a fake peace deal from a fake administration that never tells the truth about anything. So, but overall, I agree with Emma. It was well-delivered speech. It was progressive in the parts that appealed to the American electorate, maybe not that crowd, but to the American electorate. And it was conservative in parts that appealed to their base. And so honestly, it was a better job than the Democrats. Do I agree more with the Democrats? Yes. But in terms of the optics and the politics, I thought Ivanka's speech was pretty good.
And let it be known that she was the only one who Trump let speak in front of a crowd, the only kid, so. Sorry, Erica, Don Jr., and Tiffany, you got the short end of the stick again.
Of course. Right, I'm surprised they let Tiffany speak. I'm surprised they remembered Tiffany.
I know. I forgot about her for a little bit.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.